So thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me, Cassandra. This is a nice opportunity to talk about archives in the Beaton Institute.
What are archives for exactly?
Archives are for a range of different things, but primarily it's for preservation and access to documentary heritage. And for the Beaton Institute, that would be the documentary heritage of Cape Breton Island.
So you're an archivist. What exactly do archivists do? I'm sure lots of people are
sometimes a
interested.
misunderstood profession. I've gotten mistaken for an archaeologist before.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but archivists, basically, we support the core functions of archives. So that's everything from acquisition to appraisal of material, both monetary as well as appraising for archival value. We arrange and describe and then make available and accessible materials in an archive. And so each of those functions has a range of tasks or jobs associated with it. So when an object comes into the archive, we track it, we basically catalog it, and then we appraise it. So we look at the material to see if it fits the mandate of the archive. Is it archival in nature? Is it sort of a primary and unique source rather than a secondary or published resource? Although we do sometimes take those in. We do preservation activities, so we want to make sure the materials are well cared for and they're in proper materials. So we'll house them often in buffered or acid-free materials to make sure that they last into the future. We'll do other preservation activities as well, depending on the format. So audiovisual materials may be digitized in order for preservation and access reasons. And the archivist does a lot of different things. So those are activities directly connected with archival documents and materials, but we liaise with faculty and students if we're in a university setting. We talk with community members and work on community projects as well. And then it depends on what type of archive you're in. You might have different duties connected with the parent body. So at Cape Breton University, we also are the repository for Cape Breton University's records. So there is a university records management component to the work that I do as well.
That's a lot of stuff.
It is. And so I think there's often a misunderstanding that archival work can be quiet or boring, and I find that it's not that at all. It's exciting. I love coming to work, and every day is different, and sometimes every hour is different. So I could be meeting with students, meeting with faculty, meeting with community members. I could then be working with other staff members and colleagues around arranging and describing material, doing research to find out more about the archival content that's come in. It's very exciting. And then we also, we join professional organizations. So we're also active in the Council of Nova Scotia Archives, and we interact with our colleagues, on a provincial level and sometimes at a national level as well. So it's an exciting profession.
So what kind of materials do you usually handle?
Well, in an archive, it can vary depending on what type of archive it is. But here at the Beaton Institute, we have a range of formats. So we have photographs, we have maps and plans, so textual documents, we have audiovisual materials, so we have sound recordings, we have moving images. We have books, rare books, but also books that support our archival collections that may be published or fairly rare. But we also work with Cape Breton University Library and sometimes forward things back and forth. Archival content is a little different than what you would find sometimes in a museum or library. So we tend to focus on items that are unique, that are primary sources rather than published sources. So if you created something yourself, like this recording, if you were a photographer that took images, that would be your fond. And we use terms like fond and collection. A fond would be material that you yourself have created, and either a parent body, like Cape Breton University records are the fond of the university, or an individual can have a fond that they have created. We also have collections here at the Beaton, so that means that an individual has collected material. They didn't necessarily create it, but they have brought it together. So we have that material as well, both collections and fond. And fond is a French word. The French really formalized the concept of archives, and so we utilize that terminology in Canada, but it differs around the world. As well, we use the concept of provenance and respect des fonds. So we're interested in where the items came from, the context around the creation of the documents, and we are very interested in keeping that original order if there is one. Sometimes things will just show up on our doorstep. They could be in a garbage bag, and we try to impose order. The archivist will impose order or try to make sense of it. But if it's come in an order, we keep that original order because we want to reflect the activities of the creator.
So what do most people use the archives for? Like, what are they researching?
Sometimes I'm completely surprised by the uses of the archive, but generally we get students, either undergrad or postgraduate students coming in and doing work. We also get faculty doing research. We also have community members. They're doing genealogy, or they're publishing their own histories and their own publications. We will have sometimes we will have engineers doing preliminary assessments, so looking at fire insurance maps to determine, what was on a location before they start work there. We've had lawyers doing work, looking for different information to inform some of the cases that they're working on. We often deal with authors, so book authors, both in an academic context, but also people who are writing novels and fiction and nonfiction. We have journalists contacting us, and then we will also have filmmakers contacting us to use information. So it's really a wide range, and we sometimes can't tell, and we're often pleasantly surprised around some of the research questions that we get.
So archives are really important to the community then?
Oh, they are. They're extremely important. And it's important to have a place that is secure, and we have excellent security. We have a staffed archive that's staffed 12 months of the year, and just to know that there is a sustainable place for the community to place their documentary heritage, it's extremely important. So rather than just having a stagnant repository, the Beaton Institute is incredibly active and integrated into the community. We do, for example, Lumiere projects. We've done storytelling projects partnering with the Cape Breton Regional Library. We've done a number of projects over the years for online exhibits and placing archival material that exists in different places online, and so we've worked together with partners. And then it really doesn't matter where you're located, you can access the archival documents. So it's important for a number of reasons. People are extremely interested and proud of their heritage. Genealogy is extremely important and popular globally. So we'll have people coming in maybe through the spring and summer. People start traveling. We get a lot of requests for genealogical information or to assist with that work. And but we take great pride in our community partnerships, and we have plans over the next year to do a lot more.